Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. Plainly, this is not my new Cayenne, this is the Cayenne's predecessor, and I think it deserved an honourable mention here because it's been my faithful daily for about 3.5, 4 years now, and in that time it has absolutely lived up to the Honda reputation for reliability. It's seen many a wet dog in the boot, it's visited many a car park in a supermarket, as the dings will testify to. It has been an exceptional car. I've just hit that point where I want something a little bit nicer day to day. I think we all hit a certain age and crave that heated leather, don't we? Anyway, let me show you. It's sat right over here. And here she is, folks. What a beast. You forget how physically big these cars are. It was parked next to the CR-V last night, which is no small thing, and it just absolutely dwarfed it. Now, it's in grey, wouldn't have been my personal choice of colour. However, you know me, the deal kind of takes precedence over the colour and specification of the car. But thankfully, it's still quite nice, isn't it? And as has become customary, let me just grab the camera in a rather informal way and give you a bit of a tour. So obviously, really nice feature. It's got the 21-inch Turbo 2 alloys, which are a bit chipped up, if we're honest. See that there? All of them are looking a bit like this, so we're gonna need to get them refurbed for a start. These centre badges as well, these are on the optional extra list, which I'll take you through. It's got some rather unusual, peculiar, and some nice options on it as well. Now, as for the engine that's in it, maybe expecting me to have gone for the turbo. Nope, I've put my sensible hat on. As it's replacing what is a very sensible car, we've went for the sensible engine. So it is just, I say just, the 3-litre V6 diesel. Now, as I say, grey would not have been my first choice of colour, but honestly, I think this was such a screaming good deal. I just couldn't pass it up, I had to take it. The reason that the car was going relatively cheap was the couple who were selling it, they'd replaced it with a brand new BMW X7. They'd owned it for 7 or 8 years prior to that, loved it dearly, but because of the ULEZ zone in Edinburgh, they could no longer drive it in. Therefore, it was for sale. Little bit of a win for me from ULEZ there. Didn't think I'd be saying that. So, do you want to hazard a guess at how much I paid for this car? It's on about 80,000 miles. It's got a full Porsche and Porsche specialist service history, which I'll take you through in just a moment. It's also a platinum pack, so it got some nice extras. I'll point them out to you. But do you want to hazard a guess? £12,000. I paid £12,000 for this behemoth of a car. It's a lot of car for the money, don't you think? Now, the first thing that the Platinum Pack gives you that I wish it didn't is this silver edition on the spoiler. I really wish that was body coloured. It gives you some other silver accents around the windows and such. I don't mind that so much. Just that being silver is a little bit strange. Probably doesn't bother me enough to actually do anything about it, let's face it. Specification wise, it's got the power boot. I really wanted that. I've got a big dog, as some of you might know. He's been on the channel a couple of times and he fits in there nicely. As you're walking the dog over, it's handy to just hit the key fob and pop him in, isn't it? Speaking of dogs, now there is one little modification I'm gonna make to the visual appearance of this car. I've already ordered it, so it is happening. You can let me know what you think. It's these exhaust tips. So as is quite common on these large exhaust tips, they can sometimes kind of oxidize. Rather than paint them up, because I'm not a massive fan of the appearance of them, I've ordered these. I'm gonna add in a little bit of footage from someone else's video that's got the exact same tips. I have gone for the satin metal. He's gone for like the chrome finish. I've gone for the satin, trying to keep it as OEM as possible. But I do think the 4 tips, the 4 circular tips, looks a lot better than these. It does have the arch extensions on it. However, on some Cayennes, they're occasionally body coloured, and I really do like that look. I do like it, if I'm honest. So I might have a word with Paddy the painter again. If he hasn't blacklisted me, I'm gonna see if he would be able to paint these up. It's gonna need to go in and get this sorting. Get that, just a little bit of a scuff there. Don't think it's actually broke any of the plastic, but just a little bit of an argument with a wall or something that's happened there. Other than that, she's a minter. Okay, and this is going to be extremely subjective, I understand that, but the best part of the specification on this car is the interior. Oh, look at that. Look at that, folks. I don't think I've seen a nicer interior on a Cayenne. I'm saying that honestly. It's got the piano black inserts, cream lower leather and black upper leather. When I see it as all cream, I think it's a bit of an overload. When I see it all black, I think it's a little bit dull. So this, I think this is a perfect compromise. It's also still got the factory mats, which is quite a nice touch. Let me show you in here as well. Again, the size of these things, even with the seat in my driving position, I'm 6'1" or thereabouts, I could easily sit in the back. Oh, I've just noticed something. I think we might have reclining rear seats. We'll need to confirm. So, in my hand, I have the spec sheet for this car. So let me talk you through a couple of the optional extras it's got on it. Fuel tank, 100 litres. Who needs a 100 litre fuel tank? I mean, I'm glad I've got it because I think it's quite unique. I don't think an awful lot of Cayennes had that. I think standard is like 70 litres. Must get almost 1,000 miles range out of that. Maybe we can test that. Nice trip to Europe. Multifunction steering wheel with the buttons, seat heating in the front, not in the rear. Don't plan on being sat in there very often though, so that doesn't matter to me. Power lift rear tailgate. Very handy for the dog. Bluetooth, surprised that was an option actually. On a 2014 car, you would think Bluetooth would be standard, wouldn't you? Apparently not in the world of Porsche. 21-inch 911 Turbo 2 wheels with arch extensions. Very nice, as I say. Might look to get those arch extensions painted up. Multimedia socket, that's the one that sits in here, I'm sure. A bit defunct now, given that we all tend to just use Bluetooth, don't we? Now, these options, I believe these came as part of the Platinum package, the ones I'm going to go into here. So the multicolour floor mats, the Power Steering Plus, now that's where the steering firms up at higher speeds, and it also means it's easier to turn at lower speeds, pretty good. Wheel centre caps with the coloured Porsche crest, they're looking a little bit worse for wear. I dread to think how much they're going to cost if I approach Porsche to try and get some when I get the wheels refurbed, but we'll see about that. Interior package in black high gloss, really smart. Porsche crest on the headrest, front and rear. It's a small detail, isn't it? But that makes a massive difference to the car, I think. Door sill guards in stainless steel, PCM. I believe you could get a lower level screen and infotainment system than the PCM. So nice to see this one's got the Porsche communication management, including sat nav, which is actually quite good because it puts it in your little screen in front of you here. I quite like that. It's been a long time since I actually used sat nav in a car. I did actually use this. Okay, I wasn't looking for a specific destination, more just a city in general, but it worked an absolute treat. Park assist, parking sensors, front and rear, cruise control, you'd think that'd be standard, wouldn't you? And power seats, 8-way with memory package. So there you have it. Now I am kind of avoiding the inevitable topic that I'm going to need to talk about here. I've struck it lucky on the last few cars that I've bought and ran. I've never really had any serious problems. Always going swimmingly well with my new Cayenne until I was driving along the motorway and it flashed up with about 4 or 5 different faults at the same time. It's rather worrying. You get that horrible chime noise and then you're just greeted with all these orange and red messages. So it was brake force distribution, there was an ABS light on, there's a traction light on. Now I am hoping that this is all maybe just relating to the low battery voltage. Also, the kind of errors that were coming up kind of suggest that there might be an ABS sensor, a speed sensor, something like that on the way out. Usually it's the back ones on these because I think if it's the front, the car doesn't work. So possibly we've got one going out on the back. Now, of course, before I handed over any cash for the car, one thing I did do is have a look through the car's MOT history. I used the Vehicle Score website for this, by the way. If you're not familiar with it, it puts little warnings next to things that might be especially problematic. And thankfully, there was nothing in this car's past that pertained to the dash looking like a Christmas tree. So it could just be the case that I've got unlucky. I've bought the car, the ABS sensor's gone wrong, that battery voltage has caused an issue, or something else entirely has gone wrong. Who knows? Now, the other thing that I did do whilst on this website was buy one of their history checks. For the price of a couple of cups of coffee, it gives you a full background on this car. So it lets you know if it's, well, it'd be weird if a Cayenne had ever been used as a taxi, wouldn't it? But you'd never know. It lets you know if the car's got any outstanding finance on it, if it's ever been an insurance write-off, if it's been crashed in the past, written off, and then someone who doesn't really know what they're doing has repaired it. It's going to let you know all these things, so it is absolutely worth buying. I'll drop a 20% discount code in the description below if you need to get your own. Now, the car buyers amongst us may have already spotted the car is indeed wearing a set of Northern Irish plates. You can see that from the service history as well. It looks like the car was originally in Belfast by the looks of things. So Belfast, Edinburgh, and then it started going to David Philip Autos, which is a well-known Porsche specialist here in Scotland. It went there at 22,000 miles, 30k, 39, 53, 68, which was in 2022. So it is due a service now. I'm telling you, Cayennes just have such a wonderful insulated feel to them. There could be a foot of snow on the ground. There could be a civil war going on out there. We could run a few pedestrians over. We're not going to do that. You wouldn't know about it. You're in here, you're comfortable, you've got your heated seat on, you've got your heated steering wheel on. Usually you'd have your tunes on if it wasn't for the fear of YouTube copyright. It doesn't matter to you what's going on out there. That's the way that a Cayenne makes you feel right off the bat. I mean, am I missing out by not having air suspension? I rather suspect that if I spoke to someone who has a Cayenne with air suspension, they would tell me, yes, you're missing out by not having air suspension. However, given that it's got a likelihood to maybe give me a big complicated bill at some point, I know they're fairly reliable, but it is just another thing, isn't it? It's another thing to think about when you're trying to run one of these, I don't want to say as an economical daily, but as a somewhat sensible daily. Therefore, I am happy to go without. Now, as for performance, well, I'll be honest, I was looking at the TD V8 diesel Cayennes. Those were the ones that really caught my eye. However, the problem with those is there's just not an awful lot of them out there. Certainly here in Scotland, there wasn't very many at all. And those that I could find, they were all in dealerships. And I don't want to say they were overpriced, but they were retail priced. I was really looking to try and snag a good deal, get into an equitable position. So if I did have to sell the car, I would be all right. But I tell you what, since getting this 3-litre diesel, let me pop it into sport here. I know you can't feel that, but I've been pleasantly surprised. I guess it's the torque that makes it feel so quick. It's such an easily accessed power as well. Those of you who are diesel veterans, I'm preaching to the choir here. You already know this, but for someone coming from a naturally aspirated 2-litre CRV, you can understand this is kind of blowing my mind. Again, I imagine that 4.2 V8 is going to be another step up again, but I've been very pleasantly surprised by this 3-litre diesel. And I've also heard you can remap them as well. You can remap them and get a bit more guts out them. Now, the thing that stands head and shoulders above everything else about the experience when you drive a Cayenne is just how refined the thing is. They are just beautifully made. I mean, this is an 11-year-old, 80,000 mile car now, and there is not a creak or rattle to speak of in this interior. The package itself, the quality of the materials, the way in which everything has worn so robustly, they're just amazing cars. And for £12,000, 12 grand, I mean, you could go out and spend that on a Fiesta nowadays. It is a lot of car for the money. Of course, please do let me know what you think of my purchase. Don't put me down too much though, I'm pretty happy with it right now. Should have bought the V8, I can hear it in the comments. Now, as for what's next with this car, well, it's due a service. As I showed you guys, we're going to get it into the specialist. I'll let them give it a good going over, get it a full service, get it all up to speed. The battery as well, as I say, we need to get that battery done, otherwise the car's going to wind up stranding me. It would just be my own ignorance if I didn't go ahead and get that done before it lets me down. And beyond that, we'll maybe give it a bit of a spit and polish. We'll get the wheels refurbed. The tyres are actually all right. We don't need to do anything with them. We didn't really have a good look at the brakes, did we? Should maybe get a look at the brakes, but then the specialist will do that for us anyway. And other than that, just drive the car and enjoy it. Oh, and a remap. I did say a remap, didn't I? So we'll maybe look at that. As ever, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to keep up with the Cayenne, hit subscribe. I'll see the numbers on this video. Hit like on this video. And I'll release maybe a little mini series as I do a bit of a light restoration on it and just enjoy the car. Thanks so much. I'll see you for the next one.